Hello, artists. It's me, your art teacher. Been away for a while, coming back to you with another video and trying to break down very quickly this new assignment. So this is assignment number 3 for some of you, assignment 4 for others. But essentially, it's called the virtual field trip. So when you go to find the assignment, it's going to be labeled virtual field trip, and you're going to see a document much like the one that's on the screen right now. So here's a hyperdoc. By now, you should be pretty well used to these. I've been doing these for all the assignments. So in this hyperdoc are a variety of links. You'll currently see some blank spots on mine because I'm still filling them in, like this video that I'm making for you right now. And you'll notice that on my hyperdoc that I'm sharing with you right now, you'll see question marks where the due dates are. And that's because I have yet to assign it and I don't have the exact due date set up. But everything else is pretty well listed. So I'm going to go through it briefly, give you some information. And as always, if you have any questions, you need to email me or send me a Schoology message, and I'll be happy to clarify when you get to the assignment. So let's break it down. So bottom line, you're going to see that all the steps are there: step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, and step 6. And it tells you along the top, follow the steps below, and then you're going to see links for most of the thing or very specific directions on how to upload the information to Schoology where needed. So the first thing you're going to do is go onto the virtual field trip instructions. So I'm going to click on that, and it's going to take you directly to a document that tells you in depth what you're going to do. Your job is to go to the link that is listed, the second link in step 2, and select 2 of the art museums or galleries from across the world. There's some phenomenal art museums that are listed, everything from the Guggenheim Museum in New York to a museum in Mexico City. There's wonderful works there. I believe one of them is an Egyptian museum. So there's some really great museums for you to look at. And I basically want you to go on a field trip. Go inside those museums, take a look, take some notes while you're there. Look in your sketch journal, jot down some notes of some of the famous works you've seen, some of the things you like, about the layout of the museum, anything that comes to mind. There is nothing wrong with listing your thoughts as you go in your sketch journal. You're going to save that piece of paper because it's going to be helpful for you in a little bit for a few of the other steps. But you want to, as you go, jot down some notes and jot down some of the titles of the famous works that catch your eye, only the ones that interest you. So once you've done that, you're going to then select from the options chart. The options chart is going to give you 3 choices that you should choose from. So if you look on my screen, it says field trip, option, select 1. First one is design your own museum. The second one is to recreate a master work of art. And the third one is to create a Kahoot trivia game. Share that trivia game or play that game with your friends and family, either virtually, like with another group with link to other students in our class or friends of yours, and or then share it with your family. Make it a game night, make up some goofy prize to give away, and have some fun with it. But you're going to come up with at least 10 questions. So there are 3 options: recreate a master work of art and take a photo of it, create a Kahoot trivia quiz, or design your own museum. In all 3 of them, they're going to start the same way. So once you've taken your virtual field trip in 2 art galleries, you're going to go either through your phone, through a Google Chat, through a text session, whatever you want to do. You can FaceTime with a friend, and I want you to interview one of your classmates from our class. Doesn't matter who, but you must interview at least one person. Can we do a group of 3 or 4 to interview? Absolutely. You can do it as a giant group chat if you want. And your job is to interview each other on your virtual field trip. Ask some questions. What was the famous work of art you saw at your museum that you really liked? What museums did you go to? What didn't you like? What did you think was interesting? What made them choose those galleries and museums? Do they have those trips on their bucket list? Ask some questions, find out what you liked and didn't like, and find out some of the works of art that they found while they were on their field trip. Get some feedback. On the same piece of paper a few minutes ago that we talked about that you might have jotted down your own thoughts, jot down the interview questions and the response to those interview questions. All of that needs to just be on one page in your sketchbook, because that's you're going to take a photo of for photographic evidence for one of the steps to get a grade for it. So you want to make sure that you do that and take some really good notes. So that's the document that breaks all that down. You're going to also see where it says at the bottom, it tells you grading guidelines. And again, on your screen right now, if you're looking at my video, they're blank because I haven't assigned them yet. But if you go to this document now, it'll be live. Oop, that says April 21st. That isn't going to be right either, so we'll take that out. They all say April, but eventually you'll find a due date. It might be in April or May, but mine don't have them yet. Then you're going to see the grading criteria for things like craftsmanship, use of media, all things you're familiar with. That's what you're being graded on. And of course, as I said earlier, you can always go to an email and email me if you have any questions. So I'm going to go back to the HyperDoc for a second, and let's go down to the Virtual Field Trip Museum link. So if you open that up, you're going to then go to 12 museums from around the world. Your job is to select how many? That's right, 2 of those museums. So mine's taking a moment to open up. It's grinding. But in a second, you're going to see 12 links to 12 famous museums around the world. There it is. So you can take those trips right from your couch or your desk or your bedroom and go to one of them. The British Museum in London, the Guggenheim, the National Gallery of Art, the Museum d'Orsay from Paris, National Museum of Art in Seoul, Berlin, Amsterdam. There's another one, Los Angeles, in Florence, Sao Paulo, Brazil, or the National Museum of Anthropology. If you like anything about anthropology, it's an amazing museum in Mexico City, so you can go there also. Most of them have Google Street Map views. Others have some other interesting viewpoints, but basically just surf around, look, and go to 2 of them and take the full tour to 2 of those art galleries, okay? So once that's done, you're going to select from those 3 options that we talked about on the options chart. You're going to design your own museum, recreate a masterwork, or create a Kahoot trivia quiz. Your job then is to, once you've done the peer interview, upload a photo of your 1 page in your sketchbook where you had your reflection, jotting down some notes of what you thought about your field trip and what your interview of the people that you talked to. Make sure that you write down the people or person that you interviewed from our class. Make sure you write down the name of the person or people that you interviewed in our class in your sketchbook. On that same piece of paper, there's a lot going on in that one piece of paper, also jot down what you're planning to do from your choices. Is it a Kahoot trivia game? Is it going to be recreating a masterwork of art? Which is it going to be? When we say recreate a masterwork of art, we're talking like the ones that have gone viral all over social media, where you or somebody in your family becomes the character and you pose for that as the character. Think of that Mona Lisa. Find some brown bed sheet around your house or a blanket that would look like the Mona Lisa's clothing. Style someone's hair to look like that, put them in a backdrop so it looks similar to the Mona Lisa backdrop, take a good photo of them, you can edit it, you can crop the photo, whatever you'd like. But your job is not to draw or paint this time, but to have a live recreation of that masterwork of art and take a photo of it. I'm looking for accuracy, I'm looking for detail, and I'm looking for creative responses, finding things that you could use from around your house that could represent the different props and elements of those famous works of art. So your job in step 5, as it says on the HyperDoc, is to then upload your final results from your choice base on Schoology. You're going to see it tells you that very carefully, and it shows you exactly where to go on that. The only one that's an exception, so of course there are 3 choices. If you're doing the Kahoot, you can't really share the Kahoot through Schoology. All you need to do is email me the link of the Kahoot, as well as make sure you make me an editor or a contributor on your Kahoot so that I can get into it and see it fully and completely. So share the link of the Kahoot and an email and make sure that I'm an editor or a contributor. Otherwise, I won't be able to go in and look at your questions and look at your wording exactly as you have them. You can also upload pictures as hints. Have a little fun, because remember, you're going to offer to play this game with your family and friends and offer them some kind of trivia reward or prize. So make sure it's fun, because think about it. When you enjoyed playing Kahoots in your classes, you know, part of it's the fun and the excitement of the question and the way it's worded and some of the silly answers that we call distracting answers, the distractors, the ones that are incorrect. So, you know, have fun with it. Finally, and lastly, step number 6. Steps number 6, as you can see here, it says show what you know. So you're going to go into Schoology again in the same green file folder you've been going into for weeks now. That's listed as online learning in Schoology. You're going to click on assignment number 3, which is the virtual field trip. For most of you, it's either assignment 3 or assignment 4 for you, but it'll say virtual field trip. And inside the virtual field trip, you're going to go find the green puzzle piece, where you're going to find the show what you know virtual field trip. In there, you're going to be asked a few key questions about your field trip, about your interview, and about your opinion of the work that you've seen over the time of your field trip. They're very short. It shouldn't take you that long. And as I've said from the very beginning, since we've been doing these hyperdocs, you'll see running along the right-hand side of the hyperdoc the estimated time for all the activities. No one is expecting you to do all the activities in 1 day, 2 days, or even 3 days. This, like most of the assignments, should take you at least 2 weeks. I've planned or budgeted for at least 2 weeks for each assignment or the entire unit, but I'm telling you with the estimated time exactly how long I anticipate it should take you to do each activity. Okay, so no need to do it all in 1 day, but I wouldn't wait till the last day before it's due, because yes, then it will feel like a lot of work to do. I hope you're all staying healthy and you're being safe. And as I always say, you can ask me questions. We can jump on a Google chat or Hangout at any point if you really feel you just need one-on-one information and you think that you would benefit from that. You got to let me know. Here's having a great week for all of you, and I will see you virtually, if not in person, sooner rather than later. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.